Hello y'all and welcome back to Big Bear Gear Reviews. If you like what you see, please leave a like, share, subscribe, and hope you enjoy the show. Today we're going to talk about this knife, the Gerber flat iron. I have it in this version, which is the aluminum scales with 7CR 17 MOV steel. You could get it also with micarta and D2, or in the 7CR version with G10 handles. I got this knife a while ago. I just never did a review on it and left it sitting in well, on the side. So here I'm going to start off with some testing. So as you can see here, I'm doing some slicing, feather sticking, light chopping. I also did some push cuts into this wood. This is pine that's been sitting in my yard for pine. I think it's pine, at least it's been sitting in my yard for a very long time. So it's really dry and hard. The knife cuts into it, doesn't split it, so it really is cutting well. In chopping, I didn't want a baton because it is a folding knife and I didn't want to get damaged, but you can see here it's cutting really well. This is a factory edge and a 7CR blade is doing really great. You see there's no damage, and you'll see in a second the lockup stayed perfect. Even normally in the kitchen I would use this knife, which is the Wusthof Silver Point Sentoku. I don't know the exact model name or whatever. As you guys can see, it really is a thin knife. It's like 1.5 millimeters, if that. But today I'm not going to be using this knife. I'm going to be using the flat iron, which is a thick knife. It's, I don't know, almost 4 millimeters thick. So it's a cleaver. I wanted to see how it does kitchen work. I'm going to start with a carrot that I pre-peeled here. And then I'm going to cut a cucumber. So here's with the carrot. I'm just going to do push cuts or slice cut like I would do with a small kitchen knife. I'm not going to treat it like a cleaver for chopping, at least not yet. I know I can do that. I just want to see how it works as a other knife. I'm going to cut these into sticks, and it really was not that hard doing it. Just, cut it. I found it was easier to, put the point in and slice. You see, stick it in and pull it back, then to actually chop, because as a cleaver it's kind of short, so put it in and kind of chop down more than, use the tip for piercing and then the blade for cutting, and not just a slice cut like I would do with a full-size cleaver. Cut them really nicely. Now the cucumber, which is much softer, it just flew through like it doesn't exist. Really, there was no pressure on my part on cutting this cucumber. So, cut it. I did it really slow with no pressure at all, just holding the knife to see how sharp it is. Now this is after I did the batoning. I didn't sharpen it, I didn't do anything to the blade. As a matter of fact, during this whole video I didn't do any sharpening to the blade, and you see it just cuts right through anything. And here I'm going to go to paracord cutting. So there's to see how it cuts. I'm staying in the same cutting board. Here I think I held the blade wrong, or wasn't, went too slow, or I don't know what happened. It didn't cut all the way through. It's holding on by a hair. Other than that, you guys can see here it sliced right through with the board under it. I did a single paracord, whoops, there you go, cut. And I did a double, trying to save paracord because you got another single. I'm using one of the pieces I cut to make a double. Now I know this isn't really to test how thick, but it does test a little harder cutting. It is a little harder when you do 2 of them. Here I'm going to do 3 of them. As you guys can see, the knife just glides through the paracord. Now, before I bought this knife, I saw a bunch of reviews and people writing and talking about how this knife is really bad. Now, yes, this is a heavy knife. We'll get to the sizes and the weight of the knife after. But for the knife it is, for a 7CR blade, for what is it? It costs like between 20 to 30 bucks for this version. It's affordable, really great knife. I don't know what happened there. It didn't cut it, but you guys can see the knife itself is great and really surprised me for how good it comes out. Okay, let's talk about the dimensions, like the weight and overall length, blade size and cutting edge. Am I starting to sound like other YouTubers? Is that a problem? Handle thickness, blade thickness? Don't think so. Here's a handle, the blade. I'm using other colored lines. As you guys can see, this is a frame lock. It has a really nice stop pin. Well, they call it stop disc. I think it's more of a stop pad. It has a really small pocket clip sorry y'all, that comes really stiff. It's really different size than what you normally see. I bent mine a tiny bit with a plier. Now it goes in and out of the pocket real easy, and because of the weight of the knife, this is a heavy knife, it stays in your pocket without coming out. So my thoughts about this knife: it's a really great knife. It's a little heavy, maybe in the G10 or my Carta handle version it weighs less. I don't know, I didn't check it. For the price point, this is between $20 and $30. You're not gonna find a better cleaver style knife. At least I don't think you would. 7CR is a little outdated steel, but it still works great. Cuts well, keeps its edge. At least in this knife that I've tried it. What else can I say about this knife? Feels good in the hand, cuts well. I don't think it will go into my regular EDC rotation. As a matter of fact, I might sell it, not because there's anything wrong with the knife, but because of its size and bulkiness, and that I'm not going to carry it. I might as well sell it. I have enough knives that I don't walk around with. But as it sits, this is a great knife, a great gift to give to a friend or even to yourself. I mean, at this price point, you can't really beat it. Hope you enjoyed the show, and see y'all on another day.